Okay, Madam President, there's just one party to enter from the waiting room.
Perfect. Once you're ready, if you could just call the roll.
Okay, Newman,
Here.
Kimmerdiner,
Here.
Rautenstrau,
Here.
Mylum,
Here.
Cook.
Here. All right, a couple things, not on our agenda, but just last minute here. At 6:45 today, we're going to have a presentation by the VVA regarding the wall that heals. They have a nice video to show us. And they have a presentation that they'd like to make. I've asked Councilman Rautenstrau, for those joining us virtually, to log in and share the video presentation so that you'll be able to see that. So that's at 6:45. They need about 10 minutes. Okay, so we'll do that in the caucus room. And then let's go through the agenda. Council on the minutes?
Sure.
All right, the parish hot dog sale for St. Francis.
I'd like to take that.
Mr. Rounstrau?
Madam President, I'm sorry, for resolution 1, who did the minutes?
Council,
Okay,
Mr. Rounstrau for resolution number 2.
yep.
Resolution 3, the special event application for the ROCC basketball tournament at Ives.
I would like that one, Madam President.
Mr. Newman. And that is on September 25th, with the rain date is September 26th. Okay, the general fund operating budget, that the council does not object, I'd like to sponsor this. This is a resolution for the topsoil for Little League. Any questions on that? Okay. Next is the Young Street Corridor Improvement Change Order for Scott Lawn Yard, $46,655.50. That's the pedestrian connection, right, between Gateway Harbor? Okay.
I'd like that, Madam President.
Okay, Ms. Cameron. All right, the special event application for the VVA Chevette's Chicken Barbecue on October 3rd. Council on this?
Sure.
Sure.
All right. Mr. Reese, do you want to come up to the microphone, and we're on resolution 7, and just in layman's terms for all of us to understand, this is a win-win for us. So I just want the public to understand what we're doing with this very lengthy resolution.
We have a bond council consulting firm that uses Municipal Solutions. And they review a lot of our bonding, and we continuously check it out, tell us what our scheduling is, and look for places where we might be able to save some money. So in this instance, they went back and found that there were 2 years, 2004, 2012, if I'm not mistaken, where the rate was slightly higher in the 2% range. And they did the math and figured out that the current rates that were being offered would offer significant enough savings to pay for any of the fees, and then actually still provide something that goes with the work that it takes to rebond the bonds. So the resolution that's on there tonight is fairly long. It looks like the same things we do for our regular bond resolutions. And that authorizes the mayor and I to sign off on the new bond, which pays off the old bond. So, and then we figure over the course of the next 15 or 16 years, that there's well over $100,000 in savings and interest on that, on those 2 years. So that was Municipal Solutions looking at it. Those are the 2 bonds that actually could be redone. We probably won't see this again for quite a while because the interest rate is so low.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Council on this?
Yes.
Any questions on it?
You said it was 100,000 in savings?
I think it's 194.
Yeah, I have it in a file, I'll show, I'll send it. There's actually some spreadsheets in the bid.
And that's just for those 2 years. It's not the years in between, correct?
No, just those two. specific.
Good news there. Okay. We have exec. Council, do we have exec? For particular persons? Motion by Ms. Camerediner for executive session to discuss particular persons. Do I have a second? I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Mr. Clerk, we're going into exec at 6:06 PM.
Motion by Camerediner, seconded by Council President Cook.
Correct. So for those of you that are here, remain seating. We're going to go into the caucus room.
And those that are in the virtual meeting, I'll be pausing the recording and then putting,
Here, and then we go, okay. Okay,
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the city officials here for the cooperation and the job that they did bringing this wall, the heels in. I mean, from the DPW to you for allowing us to have it up there. I mean, it was a perfect location, perfect location. And I'll tell you, those guys from the DPW did one heck of a job getting the site ready. Really nice. I wish Joey was here. But anyway, this is a great community, a patriotic community. We started out in Buffalo as our chapter. We had 100 and some odd members, and we moved down here. In Buffalo, we had no support. We came to the city of Tonawanda, and anything that we do in this community, the people in this community support us. We could be selling garbage cans and they would support us. I mean, to date, Tonawanda had the largest crowd visit the Wall of Hills of all the stops they've made so far.
wow.
That's awesome.
12,000 people.
And that's a credit to you guys for your efforts as well.
So I had this made up for you to put in the city hall, I hope.
Awesome.
Oh, that's really nice.
Thank
Oh,
you.
that's
And
awesome.
I took pictures with a drone and I got permission to use them, so.
That's
That's
beautiful.
awesome.
Very nice.
It's a little heavy, so I'm using heavy nails.
Have to find the stud in the wall, right?
How about I just leave it here for now?
Perfect. We'll make sure that gets hung up.
And we also have some challenge coins for you from the wall.
That is cool. Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bring it back there.
make sure you have it with you.
Yes.
Takes you a while.
You have to get up first.
Really awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Man
As
first.
if you don't have one.
And I have one more thing that I'd like to mention, but it's nothing to do with the wall. I don't know when I'll see you again, but
Mhm.
this is for you, Mayor Davis. You're one of our sponsors of our car show, so. Thank you. Okay, appreciate it. Right.
I just want to echo basically what Paul said. Being the host chairman for the Wall That Heals, I spoke to the people from our national office that brought the wall, and they were so impressed with the hospitality and the cooperation we received from the city of Tonawanda. They said, we hope we can get something close on their future visits throughout the country, what city of Tonawanda offered. They asked us to make a report, how we got it all organized. And of course, like Paul said, the Parks Department and the Recreation Department, we couldn't ask for better cooperation. But this is a fine credit to the city of Tonawanda. And on behalf of the chapter, Vietnam Veterans, Chapter 77, we thank you tremendously Fortunately, we don't think this is going to be a return to visit because they go throughout the country. And there was a group from Erie, Pennsylvania visiting at the time. And they were asking us all kind of questions. And that might be the closest future site next year if they get selected. But thank you very much again.
I think this is a once in a lifetime event for the city of Tonawanda. Because according to our national office, we only have 12 years left as an organization. So.
Well, thank you for your efforts.
Absolutely. Thank
Okay, so I know there's a brief video. In Chuck, you'll hit play or, okay. So if we want, we can go in the caucus room and see this video. You're logged in.
you.
Joe.
Getting my stuff.
Your stuff ready to go?
Not yet.
I'm getting there.
Give me a few. Okay, Jim, Sean's gonna log in just to show this to everybody who's joining us.
Okay.
So, I don't know how it's gonna go.
It's like the American Legion allows like sons and daughters.
Yeah.
And their programs or anything like that. Possible?
There is a group, you think of a name now, they're isn't taking us over, right? It's, I can't think of the name,
Deciding to switch my camera.
but they're interested, they're gonna be at the national. convention.
Yeah, right. I haven't done this in a while.
We'll see what happens.
Here's the
How
IT
do I-
guru.
Right? How do I switch to the other, my rear camera?
What did you
Don't
double tap?
worry that everybody's watching.
Realize that.
No pressure. Sorry, don't you?
You know what? What if I just?
What if you just turned it like that?
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
So I get up real fast.
Sorry, y'all. See it.
John, can you zoom in a little?
lucky from town, his daughter did that. Put that together for-
Oh. Can you turn this back up?
Looks like putting on Facebook. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anything else we need?
No, it's not, that's. What's up?
Okay,
Yeah.
The drone footage is incredible. And the clarity of it. Like,
I wish I had stupid money just to buy one, just to fool around with it.
That's exactly it. The clarity of the drone footage was like,
It's amazing.
Really,
it was so good.
I had like an older one.
All right. Let's go around the room. Mr. Newman.
Thank you, Madam President. I said a couple of things. I received a call from Natalie Boyer. I think Chuck also talked to her. Part of the Millstream Gardens program. And I went over here today after talking to her this afternoon, and it's in rough shape. It's in really rough shape. So hopefully we can get something going over there and clean that up, because it was, you can clearly see it was real nicely assembled at one point, but it's definitely seen dire times. Dawn didn't answer my other question. The only thing is, I've been out and about, obviously it's campaign season, so everybody's out walking around, but it kind of gives you a good chance to see the streets and, everything up close, sidewalks, curbs, and just everything. And there's definitely some issues that probably should be addressed sooner than later. So I'll reach out to mostly DPW stuff, and I'll reach out to Joe and see if they can do something with them. Stuff that could be, liability issues. So I have that, President.
All right, thank you. Ms. Cameron.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll piggyback on yours with going door to door. Mayor did a wonderful Facebook Live video of our arborist checking out our trees. And I had the pleasure today speaking with Mr. Doyle in regards to it. And I have reached out to a few of the parties, and I have spoken with them in regards to the issues with the trees and the sidewalks in the second ward. And they're working on them. Hopefully, barring no mistakes or no issues, they should be working on them hopefully next year to go over there and take care of the issues as far as that goes. Other than that, it saddens me when I go out on a family boat trip and, we always dock on the North Tonawanda side, and I look at the city. I understand that we are under construction, but it saddens me to see the disarray of what we are looking at from the canal onto the city side. All I can hope and pray for is when it's over and done, that all of the high grass is taken care of, the weeds are taken care of, and our boaters can get out and enjoy our city, not just NT. I'm proud of my city, but that, from looking at it from a water standpoint, it needs to be addressed, and I know we're working on it, so please be patient. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Armstrong.
Yeah, I just wanted to tag along with Tom. I got a chance to talk to Natalie Bollard about this project. I've been talking to her for a while. I'm glad she got in touch with Chuck and Tom. I think it's got a lot of potential. I think it's a really great opportunity for our city to have this community garden in here. I hope possibly after the meeting, if it's appropriate, Natalie could say a few words. If you want to talk more about it, if not, I don't know if now is the appropriate time.
Yeah,
At the end of the meeting. But, you know, she shared with me some great ideas. I think this is a great idea. Look forward to seeing, you know, what she makes of it and seeing volunteers get involved and seeing that Millstream Village, you know, pick back up again and look like a nice place. It's, you know what, I just want to make mention too. I noticed it's been going back and forth. We've been talking about the LED lights. It's great to see those things moving forward. You know, I noticed that they've been going up in different parts of town. Again, like Tom said, walking around the neighborhoods and speaking with the residents during the season, I've noticed there's a lot out on Adams Street and some other areas of the city. So, you know, I look forward to those getting put into place. It's my understanding too that this is all part of the process. We're not incurring any new costs. This is just the natural progression forward with the new system. So I just want to say, you know, great work on that to everybody. And that's all I really have for now. Thank you.
Mr. Mylan?
Thank you, Madam President. I've been receiving more and more calls. It seems to go up pretty much every week. Phone calls about the speeding on Hackett and Rogers. It seems to be from the reports from the neighbors that it is the same vehicles, but the last call I got was that they were racing side by side down Rogers Saturday night. It was about 2:30 in the morning. It's getting to be a big concern, especially with the new paving on Rogers. They're treating it like a raceway. So my advice to the residents is to please call the police as soon as you see it. The police will get there faster than anybody on Facebook will. The police are aware of it. They have added additional dedicated patrols on Rogers to take care of it, but can't be everywhere every time. So if you're walking up there, please be careful because even at daytime, there is a lot of speeding going on. There's a lot of distance between Hackett and the first stop sign. So there's a lot of space to build up some steam in that area. So maybe coming back to traffic and safety to talk about some additional stop signs on Rogers Avenue in the very near future. We can't do that.
Can't use stop signs as a method of controlling speed.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
Right.
Okay, well, I will not be coming. I don't think there's anything else at this point. Oh, school started last week. On, was it Wednesday was the first day? Everything seemed to go off pretty well. Even with the fifth graders up to middle school now, they are kind of off in their own wing, closed off from the rest of the kids, but it seemed to go pretty well. And if you've driven by Fletcher, they are going mighty quick with the construction up there. I was surprised at how quickly the infrastructure is going up, giving Caterpillar a run for the money. So other than that, right now, I don't have anything else.
Thank you, Mr. Mylan. Okay, Mayor?
So now that we got the urban initiative, there'll be some upgrades to the Broad Street playground that we're working on and that we'll hopefully be able to implement by the end of the season, if not by next spring, depending on what kind of costs we get for the upgrades. And then the windows project here at City Hall. So the initial estimate came back in line with what we were thinking, but the asbestos that is in the caulking around each window has to be abated. Our lowest bid was $35,000. So I'm proposing using the Biden bucks in order to expedite that project. So we're not waiting to possibly bond that next spring and the prices going up. So.
Mr. Mayor, is that just for the abatement or is that for the whole project?
That's just for the abatement of the asbestos caulking around each window. And then they put a floor to ceiling plastic tarp up while they're doing this to It's non-friable, so it shouldn't be an issue, but that's protocol for dealing with the asbestos. So they would start down at the clerk's office and then they would work their way down City Hall, replacing the windows, removing the caulk and going from there. So.
The Windows project, just to elaborate, was the grant we received from former Assemblyman Robinson.
Right, so
Yeah,
it
no,
was the windows and then the HVAC
Correct.
upgrade to City Hall, so.
Yeah, and that's why that number struck me as different because that, I think that the windows were more significant than that.
Right,
Right.
yeah, the window project came in around 170,000 to replace the windows. What we didn't know was the asbestos in the caulk, which obviously.
But I think the
dragged price up.
original estimate was 250, correct?
Right, so it was, the HVAC was 80,000 and then the windows were
Okay.
around, I'm just using ballpark
Yeah.
figures, around 170,000, so.
That's all. All right, perfect. I have a couple things. So LED streetlight update, we will be meeting with Nyepel and Wendell on the 21st at 6:15. So Jim, if you could just put that on our agenda. DNM mobilized earlier this week to begin addressing any outages. And what they're doing is they're converting the streets after they arrive and they realize they have the outage. So they're replacing those. So they're looking at that entire block. I have a copy of the outages, so I just wanted everybody to have it. And it's listed by priority. So you can see the addresses and where they are in as a priority. And that is that update. Mr. Rua. I just want to follow up on the email about the long homestead lease agreement. Are we good to go and put it on our agenda for our next meeting? You have no issues?
I have no issue.
Okay, is the council good with that? Everybody good? Okay, Mr. Clerk, if you could just make sure we have a resolution for the long homestead lease agreement for the 21st. Did everybody have a chance to look at the petition to amend the zoning district for Fillmore? What are the council's desires? So we have two options. We refer to it, we can refer it to the planning board, or we can hear it, which would require a public hearing. We have to publish it. So we'd probably be looking at the first meeting in October, right, Jim?
Correct.
Okay. Our last two petitions, the council has heard, we have not referred to the planning board. So is it the council's desire that we hear this? Thoughts?
I think it's in your best.
Okay. So Jim, if you just want to poll the council, that the council's in agreement that we hear the matter.
Okay, with the matter of rezoning the petition, there's a petition to rezone 20, 30, and 40 Fillmore Avenue.
Correct.
And the petition has been submitted and been distributed to each of the council members and mayor. And the council is desiring to move forward with the rezoning of the properties. Newman,
Aye.
Cameron,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye. So, Mr. Clerk, if you can publish that. And I don't know how you do this, if it's you or Eric lets the petitioner know that we will hear this the first meeting in October.
Yeah, we have to publish it and we also have to send letters to the individuals within a certain radius of the
150.
properties.
Right. So is that enough time for, that'd be October 5th?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're gonna do the public hearing for October 5th.
Correct.
Okay,
If that's enough time.
Yeah, that'd be enough time.
And Mr. Clerk, can I ask a quick question about that? The
Sure.
publishing. You publish in the Niagara Gazette, is that correct?
That's correct.
Is there a specific day that it gets published so that the residents can plan to purchase that newspaper to see what is being offered? Or is it just whenever the ad goes or the notice goes in?
Well, that's one of the avenues to make the public aware of the public hearing. That's not the only. It's also listed on the city website of the public hearing. But as far as the publishing dates, usually we publish on the weekends, because more people tend to get the newspaper on the weekends.
Okay,
And Mr. Clerk, you can put that on our city website, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right, perfect. I only have 4 minutes. Just to follow up from our city assessors meeting regarding the reassessment, he has requested that we get back to him this month about our intentions if we're going to reeval in 2023. What is the council's desire? We'll have to budget for that.
I'm not interested.
So Mr. Newman is a no. Dawn?
We haven't done it in 4 years,
Yes.
and it should be done
Every
every
four.
4 years, so it's something that we need to discuss, I think. So I'm a yes.
Okay. Mr. Rosner?
I also have to agree. I think with the assessor speaking to the equalization rate, changes in the market, I think it's important that we get to a full equalization rate, so it's reflected properly on our taxes and the county taxes.
Okay, so I'm hearing you're a yes. Mr. Mylum?
well, I think the biggest issue that I had with going forward with it is how undervalued our commercial properties are.
Exactly.
And the unfortunate aspect of it is, I don't believe you can just do commercial.
You cannot. We had looked into that a year ago.
So at this point, what's happening is the residents are basically subsidizing
Commercials.
commercial properties because they're undervalued.
Not to mention they're using the undervalued costs of the commercial properties to reevaluate new buildings and new projects that are here too. So it's dramatically undervalued. It just perpetuates itself.
You see, on the other hand, too, and I'm in favor of it. However, I think I almost wish we could do one more year to give people time to get back on their feet from working and or not working after COVID. And it just seems like we're always,
So you're looking for a 2024?
I think that'd be more prudent in light of this.
How about we do this? How about we ask Dave Morano to come to our meeting on the 21st and we talk about the pros and cons of kind of
Holding off one
kicking
more
this
year.
to 2024.
Yeah,
Want to
I
do that?
mean, at some point we have to do it because we're going to be in a situation like North Tonawanda is.
Yeah. Perfect. I hear you.
So
Mr. Clerk, can we reach out to Mr. Morano and invite him to the meeting on the 21st?
Yes, he'll be in the office tomorrow.
Okay, and if we can do like 6:45? I have two
Correct.
more things. I'm gonna get to it in 30 seconds. We received a request, and the name escapes me, regarding Fletcher Street and kind of looking at the parking there. Is that going to be referred to traffic and safety, Dawn?
Yes.
Okay. So, and then you guys are meeting,
We meet in 3 weeks.
perfect, okay. And then last, we had agreed to fund $5,000 to the Citizen Science Community Resource Center. We have not done that resolution. So I know we verbally committed to it, but we'll have to have a resolution for our next meeting to authorize that 5,000. I will work with Bill on what budget lines, but if you guys have any suggestions, let us know. Okay. All right, anything else? 7 o'clock on the nose. Anything else? All right, it's 7 o'clock, Mr. Clerk. Could please call the City of Tonawanda Council to order. If you could call the roll, please.
Newman,
Here.
Kimmerdiner,
Here,
Rautenstrau,
Here.
Mylum,
Here.
Cook.
Here. All right, let's stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. Heavenly Father, Lord of creation, maker of heaven and earth, we thank you, Lord, for your love, for your blessings and guidance upon our community. We ask you tonight, Lord, to continue to shower us with those blessings, to guide our city leaders, city employees, and our citizens in the work that they do to make this a better community. We ask for wisdom as decisions are made, policies are written, and laws are enforced. Emergencies are mediated, and our community is protected from crime. Give us wisdom and strength as we serve you by giving back to this community. Bless this council meeting tonight, and may we glorify you in all that we do. We ask you, Lord, to be with those who are still being affected by the 9/11 terror attacks as we remember those who died on that fateful day 20 years ago. Give comfort and healing to those who are suffering mentally, emotionally, and physically from the 9/11 attacks. All this we ask in your name. Amen. You may be seated. Communications from city officials and correspondence have been ordered and filed. We are not going into executive session. At this time, we'll take comments by the public on the resolutions. For those that are joining us, if you wish to address the council on the resolutions, please approach the microphone. For those that are joining us virtually, there is a spot for you to raise your hand. Please do so, and the clerk will call upon you. Anyone wishing to address the council on the resolutions? Mr. Clerk, do you have any residents wishing to address the council on the resolutions?
Madam President, I do not show anyone in the virtual meeting wanting to make any comments on the resolutions.
Okay. Hearing and seeing none. Let's roll.
Resolution number 1 by the council, seconded by the council. Resolved that the common council minutes from August 17th, 2021 be accepted as filed.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Kimmerdiner,
aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 2 by council member Rautenstrau.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it, Madam President.
Second by Ms. Camerediner.
Be resolved that St. Francis of Assisi Church be granted permission to close Adams Street between Seymour and Clinton Street on Saturday, September 11th, 2021, from 3:30 till 9 p.m. for their parish hot dog social. Details to be coordinated with Captain Fred Foles of the Tonawanda Police Department and DPW Superintendent Joseph Worthman.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Kimmerdiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 3 by Councilmember Newman.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Rautenstrau.
Whereas a special events application was received by the city clerk from Diane Brazel for the Pass the Rock basketball tournament located at Ives Park. And whereas the application was reviewed and commented on by all appropriate department heads to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents. And whereas all the details of the above named event must be coordinated with the Parks and Recreation Director. Now therefore be resolved that permission is granted to hold the Pass the Rock basketball tournament on September 25th with a rain date of September 26th. And be it further resolved that a certificate of insurance naming the city as additional insured be filed with the city clerk no later than September 17th, 2021.
Comments or questions?
I have a question.
Ms. Cammerton?
Do we have a time that this event is going to take place?
The tournament's going to begin at 8 a.m. and go till 5 p.m.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Hammerdiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 4 by Council President Cook.
Do we have a
Resolve-
second?
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'll take
Do we
it,
have-
Madam President.
Second by Mr. Mylum.
Resolved that the 2021 general fund operating budget be amended as follows. As per your agenda.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Hammerdiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 5 by Councilmember Hammerdiner.
Do we have a second?
I'd like to second that, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Rounstrau.
Resolved at the recommendation of the city engineer, Jason LaMonica, PE, that award of the Young Street Corridor Improvement Change Order number 1 be made to Scott Lawn Yard, Inc. at a cost not to exceed $46,655.50. Funding fiscal impact is $46,655.50 from the Smart Growth account.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Hammerdiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 6 by the council, seconded by the council. Whereas a special events application was received by the city clerk from the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 77, for their Chevetta's Chicken Barbecue. And whereas the application was reviewed and commented on by all appropriate department heads to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents. And whereas all details of the above named event must be coordinated with Amanda Loft, Director of Parks and Recreation, and the event chairperson. Now therefore be resolved that permission is granted to the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 77, to hold their Chevetta's Chicken Barbecue at Veterans Park on October 3rd, 2021, from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And resolved that a certificate of insurance naming the city as additional insured be filed with the city clerk no later than September 30th, 2021.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Hammerdiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted. Mr. Clerk, I'd like to make a motion to waive reading resolution 7. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Newman. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, that was waiving the reading of the reading of resolution number 7 was passed 4-1
Correct,
with Mr. Mylum voting nay.
correct.
Resolution number 7 by the council, second by the council.
Comments or questions? Comment, I just want to thank our city treasurer for coming up and in layman's terms, letting the city know that this is a win for us. And I want to thank everybody for making this happen. This is a savings to our residents. Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Cameron,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public following the resolutions. For those that wish to join us virtually, there is a spot for you to raise your hand. Please do so, and we will call on you. For anyone in the gallery wishing to address the council, please approach the microphone.
All right, well, I want to thank you guys, a lot of you worked with me on this project that I'm working on with the community.
Hang on one second. If we can just get your name
Oh, I'm
for,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm Natalie Boyard, and I'm working on the community garden project. I kind of represent a group of people that are really excited to bring some more life back to this community garden that I do appreciate your help, and I'm really excited for the community that's behind me, that's behind the scenes you're not seeing right now, that it's gonna be really excited about this as well. Thank you.
Perfect. And Natalie, I know you've been working with Councilman Newman and our administrative assistant.
Yes, and Sean has guided me along the way. He was my first contact. He's the guy I know.
Yes, and he's your council rep.
Yes.
Okay. So what do you need from the council?
So I want just to know what you guys, I wanted permission really to start because it was guided to me that it's kind of the gardens at a hard stop with the city, and the city needed to know who was going to take it over, if anyone. So right now I need to just have that, that permission to break ground. I'm going to work with the original owner of it to know the status of it, because if there's anything under behind the scenes, I need to know that.
Did you ever put a written request to the city in?
Sure, no, not at this point.
Okay, all right. So I know our city attorney is in the back, and we will, absolutely connect with him on that. But if you can just start to, process your thoughts, put it down on paper, and send a written letter to the clerk, and then he will forward it to the council, and we'll keep the ball rolling on this.
All right, we'll do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other comments? Thank you, Natalie, for taking this on, and to you and your team.
Thank you.
Anyone wishing to address the council virtually? Mr. Clerk, are you showing?
Madam President, at this time, I do not show anyone from the Zoom meeting that's wants to make any comments.
Okay. Last call. All right, hearing none, Mr. Newman.
Thank you, Madam President. I do want to thank Natalie for reaching out to us and taking on this project for sure. Like I mentioned earlier, the Millstream garden is in rough shape. I mean, anything from tires to just weeds or just, it's bad. So it's going to be an undertaking for sure, but I think we'll have the people to do it. I just want to reach out to all the veterans once again. We are in this country's and I don't know, we're spinning in circles, it seems like, and any of them need anything, please reach out. We're all here for them and we feel what they're going through. That's really all I have, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rautenstrau.
Just again to thank Natalie for her work. If her own property and her gardens around her house or any example of what's going to happen there, I think everybody should be excited about it. I also want to say thank you for the VVA to be here to give the presentation. Thank you for the very generous gifts and the picture to us. Yeah, I also want to make mention, and I'm sure Rick will speak to this in more depth, but the Day of Play by the City of Tonawanda Neighbors United, that's coming up on September 18th. It's from 10 to 2 at Fetz Park. I just want to mention that they are looking for sponsors and looking for some help out with that. To kind of make this day happen. I'm excited for them. I'm excited for the group and Lindsay Jelski's work behind this. I think this is something that she's been working on for a while. I also want to mention, I know you talked about the playgrounds. I had the opportunity over this weekend on going on an adventure with my kids and hitting the rails for trails, realizing that it ended up at the new East Park playground. And I just want to say, what a great job over there. The kids are just young enough to enjoy it. Hopefully, when Broad Street comes into play, they'll still be there as well. And my oldest isn't too big to break anything. But it's great to see that kind of work or these kind of projects happening in our city, and that we were able to get some funding to do that. I think lots of kids coming up in the city are going to enjoy it. I spoke to a couple of other residents that were there, and they were amazed by it and thought it was a really great thing that we did there. And that's all I really have in my notes right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rounstrau. Mr. Mylan.
I don't have too much tonight. The only thing that I wanted to remind the community about is there's a service on Saturday for 9/11 Memorial. I believe it's is it at fire headquarters?
Yeah.
And it begins at 9:30 in the morning.
9:45.
9:45. So I would encourage you to please come and join that service. Other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Mylan. You just stole Dawn's thunder.
Thanks. I was trying to clarify the time.
I didn't realize.
That's all right. I won't get too upset with you.
She skipped around tonight.
Purposely.
No, that's all right, Mr. Mylan. But I did want to thank the VVA for your presentation today. The Wall That Heals, is a very somber event that took place here in the city of Tonawanda. I wish that it could come back again, but I don't foresee that in the future, unfortunately. But it was, a great presentation, and, thank you so much for putting it together, all your dedication along with ours to bring them here, but you guys did more than we did. So you guys deserve a big pat on the back. And that's all I have, Madam President.
Thank you, Ms. Cameron. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam President. Myself and Councilman Newman had the pleasure of doing a ribbon cutting at Shim's Oasis today. And it's nice to see that building is being repurposed as a restaurant. I know Bill and Nancy are going on a well-deserved extended retirement vacation. And Tim and his wife, Chelsea, I'm really eager to see what they have in store for the restaurant. If they're a smattering of things that we had to taste today is any indication, I think they're going to do quite well. But I welcome them to the city and look forward to patronizing their business. Today we had a ribbon cutting at 91 Fuller, and if you're not familiar with that property, there used to be a house there, burned down. The garage was kind of left standing in the back, and the Pasics who lived next door kind of took care of the property until they couldn't take care of it anymore. And the land bank approached us as far as taking over the property and building a house, and it's a very narrow parcel. It's only about 33 feet wide. And they instituted the help of the UB School of Architecture in order to come up with a concept for a home, 2-bedroom, 2-bath that kind of fits the neighborhood. And to date, there's been through our partnership with the land bank, there's been $1 million spent in our city neighborhoods. And I believe it's 9 properties smattered throughout the city, and fortunately in each ward here in the city. And moving forward, if we're able to get them the 6 properties that they need, they're looking at another $1 million investment in our neighborhoods. So from Jocelyn Gordon, the director of the land bank, all the way down to UB and even the realtors that are selling the property. I want to thank them for their positive investment here in the city, and I look forward to working with them moving forward on future projects. And as Sean stated day of play on Saturday at 10 a.m. at Vets Park. It's a proven fact that kids play outside are 100% happier than kids that stay inside. At least I've noticed that with my kids. Anyway, come on out. Weather hopefully should cooperate. I know and past COT United events, the weather gods have not been kind to their endeavors, but I want to thank COT United for being almost like a community development corporation arm here in the city. And last, I'd like to thank Natalie for spearheading the Millstream Gardens. And this is the issue that we have, is that every few years that people kind of come and go and things kind of fall by the wayside. And I don't see that happening with Natalie's group. She has a good head on her shoulders, a good support system behind her, with the residents that want to get involved, and we can turn that area back into an area that I used to swing sets there when my grandparents lived at 90 Luxon. So thank you again. And anything, I know you've been in contact with Chuck, anything we can do to help you bring that to fruition, just don't hesitate. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to kind of piggyback on 91 Fuller, I believe our city treasurer sits on the land bank committee. Is that correct?
I'm the treasurer.
You're the treasurer. Perfect. I just ask it that if there are ribbon cutting ceremonies that the council is invited. I mean, these are important properties that we also invest in, and unfortunately, there was no communication to the council that there was going to be a ribbon cutting ceremony. I believe our council member of that ward would have liked a courtesy invite as well. The city officials outing is tomorrow, so I want to thank our city clerk for organizing the event, along with others, that it should be a good event, and so come check it out. I want to give a congratulations to Councilman Tom Newman and his family. Late last month, he welcomed a granddaughter into his family, so congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Beginning September 1st, the Senior Citizen Center opened Monday through Friday, beginning at 9:30. So please check it out. And just a reminder, anyone 55 and older can join the Senior Citizen Center. So stop on down and check it out. I want to thank everybody who stepped out to our back to school supplies drive. We had a very successful event. I want to thank the TEA, the school board, for teaming up and providing supplies to students in our community. And I also want to thank council members Tom Newman and Dawn Camerodiner, who also stepped out and volunteered and donated as well. There's an event tomorrow hosted by the Historical Society of the Tonawondas, and it's at 7 p.m. at Salem United Church of Christ, Maine and Morgan. And the event is to talk about, it's the monthly meetings, and it's a presentation about the American Legion Band of the Tonawondas, who's been a cultural treasure for the city for over 90 years. So stop on out and check it out. I believe Skip is going to have maybe a surprise or two up his sleeve. I don't know. Now I'm giving him a task or whatever, but so check that out. I want to give a shout out to Assistant Chief Chris Close and one of our city residents, Amanda Scheffler. They had prepared a grant that the fire department was honored to receive, and it's called the Assistance to Firefighters Grant, and we received an amount of $106,145. And this grant is going to fund new nozzles and attachments, hoses, and piston intake valves. Amanda has just done a fantastic job assisting and supporting our fire department and writing grants. So congratulations to the fire department. And last but not least, I did provide an update earlier on the LED streetlights, and I gave each council member a copy of the outage map that was as of last week, so obviously, you know, it's always revolving and changing. But just as a reminder, we will be meeting with our partners on the 21st at 6:15. With that said, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Ronstadt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Have a great night. Thank you.
So how do they prioritize this?
Yeah, I just know obviously priority one and so forth and so on. I don't know how it prioritizes.
Tell him she just has to talk to you. He needs permission.
Perfect.